boyfriend, your girlfriend in Jesus' name. Now, we ain't talking no foolishness now. But let's make sure they're together, and then we're going to go on into it. So listen, while the broadcast is going on, I want you to give us likes and comments and stuff like that. We'll be able to read your comments back. So I'm going to ask my DJ to give us a little bit more music, and then we'll get started. Is that good?
We have some questions too.
Oh,
We
okay.
have some questions you want to ask, put those in the comments too. So we're going to give you a little bit more time to like and share. Like and share.
Hey, listen, welcome to Marriage Mondays. It's an awesome time for us to get together and just be here to talk about some things I think that's going to help our couples' lives and everything, you know?
Well, it's exciting that we decided to do this, and the idea came from our girls, and hey, it's time to just get it out there. This year, 2020, will be 37 years of marriage for us. So we like to think and we believe.
Should they pray for me or pray for you? Which one is it?
Pray for us both.
Oh, pray for us both. Okay.
That we have something to offer. So again, we said like and share and let someone know. You're on Periscope, we're on Ustream, and also we're on Facebook Live. So come on, like and share. As we continue, we're going to get started with our Marriage Monday. We've got some exciting things. This is going to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We got some hot topics and some things that we're going to share that's going to benefit. So whether you're married, whether you're engaged, whether you are considering, or you just wait for your Boaz, or you...
I like that, man. Yeah, we're good.
So
Okay.
you're waiting for your Boaz, or you're waiting for your beautiful woman of God that God's going to bless you with. We want to be able to be a positive influence for you. Well, one of the things, Derek, can we talk about that?
Well, let's start by talking about this. Listen, we got the COVID stuff that's going on right now, and people are in the house, and they're trying to learn how to cope with each other. You know, one of the sad things is that for so many years, we go to work, we come back home, we see the kids, we drop them off at school or whatever the case may be, and now you're forced to live with each other where you can't go outside. And one of the tragic things that we've seen over the years is that couples think that they really know each other until they have to spend time with each other. Yeah, and so many times we're busy, and because we're busy and we're going through things, we think that we all got it together. Then next thing you know, the children are gone, and then now they got to live with each other. And then when they have to live with each other, then all of a sudden now it's like, man, who is this person I'm living with?
Yeah, those things happen. One of the things I like, if we're not into all that we're going to talk about tonight, just for the few minutes that we have, is that things change. We've been married almost 37 years, 36 to be specific, but things change. Some of the things that we liked when we first got married, some of the things have changed that we like to spice it up a little bit different.
Let me tell you what, like, for instance, when we first got married, you used to like to go to McDonald's and you wanted a large fry, but you wanted a filet of fish, and you wanted with cheese, and you wanted with extra tartar sauce on it. And I don't remember what, Dr. Pepper.
And I had to have a Big Mac or two filet of fish.
Yeah.
2 Big Macs or two
Filet of fish. But now you don't like that stuff, man. It's like, and so I remember one day I'm telling you, hey, when did you change? When did this happen, man?
And that was like 20 years in. So things change. mindsets change, and so to keep it spicy, keep it hot, keep it fresh, there's some things that you gotta do, you gotta change it up a little bit. So, some things we've been talking about, when we talks about marriage and dating and all that things is, of course, as you mentioned, the COVID-19, you know, everybody's quarantined in their homes, things to do that we have created to not necessarily get us out of the house, because there's nowhere to go to dine unless you curbside or carry out, but some things that we have chosen to do, some things we brought over, that we can still do in the home. So let's kind of get started. So we're here, again, press those like buttons, press those hearts. We want to know that you are tuning in, and you can put where you're from, where you're tuning in from, whether you're married, whether you're dating, and your questions. We want to hear all of that, because we believe we got a good thing going that we can help somebody.
So, are we gonna start with the question and answers first? We're gonna do that first, and I tell you what, let's do it. Let's start with some question and answers, and while our question team is getting together, can we have a little bit more music, and then we add a little bit more music, then we'll come back with some questions. Can we do that? Let's get some music.
Is it all right?
That's all. All right, let's get ready for some questions. Listen, you may be able to have some questions that you want to ask for us, but in the meantime, listen, this is supposed to be fun as well as spiritual and educational and all those type of things. But we want to make sure that we keep it live and we want to keep it real. Can we do it that way? So we're going to do that and make sure. So we got, I don't know what we're going to call our crew in the back. Our producers are going to ask us some questions, and then we'll know where to go from there. So, all right, I think we're ready for our first question.
First question, Pastor K. As a woman, what do you think are some things other women can do while waiting for the one?
I want you to read that again.
Yeah, read that one again.
As a woman, what do you think are some things other women can do while waiting for the one?
Okay, well, what are some things that you can do while you're waiting? A woman can do while waiting. First thing I said, I'm gonna give you a biblical side first, is to hide. If I go that way, hide. The Bible says, "He that finds a wife finds a good thing." So I said hide. Somebody might say, "I've been hiding." What do you mean by hiding? You've been waiting for a long time, or maybe a short time for a husband, and or even just to start dating. I ain't worried about a husband right now. I just want to date. I just think that you should wait. I know that now, what's going around now, we didn't have that kind of resource. I don't think if we did, it was shunned upon. But there are dating sites, and so a lot of ladies are putting themselves, Christian women as well, are putting themselves on dating sites. And so I don't have a lot of wisdom on that, but I know that a lot have used those resources and been successful. So when you say hiding, you're making yourself available. So that, I don't believe there's anything wrong with it, but when I say hide, don't give everything at once. I think one of the dangers that we as ladies, as women do, that we put it all out on the front, like what you see is what you get. That's not necessarily good, because a man likes to chase. He's on the hunt. And once he's hunted, he's sniffed it out. Once he's sniffed it out, you know, he's cutting out a lot of times. And so I just think the wisdom, I would say, just to hide, and that hiding means kind of making yourself chaseable, if that's a good way to make me chase. So
Okay.
hope that helps. Keep your questions coming.
There's a question that says, as a woman, do you think, how does it says, Pastor K, as a woman, what do you think are some things other women can do while waiting for that one?
Okay, that's the one she just read.
Okay.
So we're gonna go to the next one. It
Good.
says, what do I do when a man tells me I'm not ready to be a woman? I have a lot to work on. if a man, let me see, if a man tries to change me. Okay, so this person is.
But first, wait, let me say this. First thing you should do is listen to them, because those are some indicators that may be the wrong person for that person, and you don't know where they're coming from with their thought processes. You don't want to get into a relationship where the person is a very controlling person, and if again, I understand listening to each other and talking to each other and validating each other, but there comes a time where you really need to listen to that person and make sure that person is not telling you something just to bring you under their control, because we know about that stuff, don't we?
Yeah, because I'm going to say, I'm make sure I'm sitting to the right.
That's right.
I'm sitting next to the right person, the same person that I was dating when we were dating over 38 years ago.
That's right.
I had a two-piece, everybody said two-piece, not two-piece chicken, not two-piece churches, not two-piece Popeye, Bojangles. I had a two-piece swimming suit. It was leopard. And
Ooh.
you came home, you were stationed in Mississippi at the Air Force Base.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You won't even say the Air Force Base, but you was there. And he came home for the weekend, so I just want to make sure the wisdom that we're giving that, okay,
I mean, but tell her.
time to change. Two-piece leopard,
That's right.
beautiful bad swimsuit that
And what I do with it?
I showed him, I said, look, because we were going to go to Lake Blackshear. We were going to go to Lake Blackshear. He saw that two-piece, and he said, where do you think you're wearing that? And he threw it out the window.
That's
So, that question right there.
Yeah, but let's go to the other part of it. I want everybody saying all my stuff. I'm just, you understand? Look, there's some things that I don't mind you wearing when we're together. First off, we weren't married at the time, and you just as fine as you were back then. And I'm thinking to myself,
So that's the control.
well, no, I
That's
the
the
control
control
thing.
you're talking about with that question.
That's
That's what I was trying to get to.
Somebody bring her
Come
some
on,
glasses.
put me some lights on there for
Give
that.
me some glasses, right?
Give me some lights.
I mean, the person may be, you don't want to be in a situation where the person's controlling. And if the person tells you those things up front, listen to them. I'm not saying that you have to obey what that person's saying, but I'm saying at least listen to the person. Yeah.
Okay. So my take on that is.
So after being 37 years, I was right, because you're still here. Let the church say amen.
Okay, all right, let's move on. I want to move on. It says, if a man is trying to change me. Again, like he's saying, you do want to listen, but you do want to make sure that you're not being changed from the personality of the person that you are. I still like animal print. I love animal print, and he loves animal print on me. So we both like it. But making sure that he's not trying to change you. And in the same token, I know the question is what you're saying for him trying to change, maybe trying to change you, but make sure that it's a even thing. So there's some things that you like, some things that you're going to want to, you want to flaunt. Like if you're real, top heavy breasted, you got some big, voila, hey, if he doesn't like you showing all of that, you make some things clear. Some things that some lines need to be drawn. I think it's a good thing to draw some lines of what you like. When we're dating, I love my Daisy Dukes. I love my Daisy Dukes. So those are just some inside things. I know this is our first marriage Monday. It's gonna get better. Trust me.
I love the Daisy Dukes too. I just love them from the perspective of they're for me and not for everybody else. Is that all right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Next question.
Is there a such thing as soulmates?
Shot at it?
Great. I believe they're soulmates. I believe that God has somebody for everyone who's serious about getting in a relationship. I think a lot of times what happens is people don't wait for their soulmate. And one of the things you cannot do is create a soulmate where you try to make that person be somebody that they're not. So if you're going to wait on God, you should go ahead and wait on God and make sure that you find your soulmate. And that's when God brought Eve to Adam. The first time he saw her, he's like, wow, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. There was something that he knew about her from the beginning. And sometimes I believe when you get serious about somebody, it don't take a whole lot of time. you know, I'm gonna date this person for the next 15 years before I get married.
Oh.
No, when you know you're ready for that person and that person's ready for you, you're ready to move forward in that.
I want to make a clarification. Thank you for that question. Whoever asked that question, thank you. You know what? Don't get soulmate confused with soul ties. Okay,
Yeah, very
soulmate is that person that's that this is your partner or for life, your spouse for life. Like he's saying, waiting 15 years, and I know that has happened. But soul ties is we don't want to go there. We'll say that for next week.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll say that for another week.
Yeah, that's pretty deep right there.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So, soulmate, soul ties, we're gonna chop that up.
And let's just make sure that your soulmate is not somebody already married to somebody else and trying to get their soul to be part of your mate.
Oh.
That's not a good thing either. All right.
Okay, if you have $40, plan your dream date with $40 only.
$40 in
$40.
Oh, we could do that, man. I think we can do that.
So what would you do? Where would you go?
With $40? Look, well, first off, girlfriend and I, that's what I call Pastor K. Girlfriend and I, we should do our own date nights. And on our date nights, I can remember taking her down to the Riverwalk. And we would go down to the Riverwalk, where the ambiance is real nice. You got the boats floating through the water. And I have no money, okay? So what we would do is we would go down to the river, and we would sit by the river, and I would buy a glass of tea. And at the restaurant that we was at, they would give you these, what do we call those things? Chips and salsa, and that was free. It was like part of the free advertising. And so we would sit there for like 3 hours, and they come up and say, well, what would you like after me? Oh, no, I'm not ready to order right now. And I'm telling you, for hours we would sit there. You remember that?
Yeah.
We would sit there, and we would just chill and do that. So, when I talk about planning a date for $40, I mean, I could do a whole lot with $40.
Well, me for $40, oh gosh, I like a picnic. So we've done that before. We go to the park, we go to somewhere where you can fish, and we just sit and we just we're on the park bench. Now, I'm not too fond of on the ground because I don't know what's on the ground without the blanket. So I have done that, but just to kind of keep it, like I keep saying, spicy. Keep it, with some dessert, and we also do some wine glasses with non-alcoholic is what we prefer, and then the whipped cream and.
Whipped cream.
We
Good
can
God.
do that. It's seriously on in the daytime, and so with $40 we can do a lot.
Yeah, we can, and you can too. If you in a case like today, where you can't really get out because of the social distancing and things like that. Listen, one of the things you can do is you can take your children, put them to bed if you have children. Once you put the children to bed, you go in your room and you close the door, and you get a candle and you light your candle. And once you light the candle in your room, come on, you can go in there and you can just like chill out and just have a candlelight dinner, and the children upstairs or in the bedroom or whatever the case may be.
Wait a minute,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm laughing because you modern day, you're talking about a 3-4 bedroom house, but when we was together,
Oh yeah, and I'm over
when
home,
we
you know,
first
yeah.
used it, no, the trailer. When we
Okay.
came in, we had the trailer, and the child was in the bed with us. So hey, let's
Well, yeah, but I mean, but
Just
there
build a
are things
candle.
there are things that you can do
things you can do now.
to keep. Yeah, I mean, you can do to do. Somebody is saying and asking a question right now. It says, so how do you keep that spark alive, man?
It's a work in progress. You have to make sure that your schedules don't get busy. If you're working, if you do have children, you got other outside influences. You want to make sure that you make it all about you and your husband if you're married, and if you're dating, make it about the one that you're dating. We know that you're not married, so you shouldn't be necessarily enjoying the benefits of marriage.
And going in their bedroom, let's make that.
I know that there's probably some things that have happened, but you want to be candid about it. Save that if you're actively sexually active now. You got a date a year from now, 9 months from now. Of course, if you're not in the same household, you're not living together now. Look how much more exciting it's going to be, because that your heart is fonder because you haven't been having that intimacy. Maybe over the phone, maybe meeting up, but look, if you do that, it's gonna make it even more better. So say this is some practical talk that we would suggest as we're counseling, when we're doing marriage counseling, people that are living together already, just to
But, I
abstain
mean, but yeah,
themselves.
stop that. You shouldn't be like engaged in that type of activity. You know, you're not married. I mean, and so if you have, stop it. As we tell everybody, as you said, you know, we when we do counseling, we tell them, hey, stop it. Just stop it until that day.
But you can still do some
Yeah, sure you
things
can.
that are dating that don't have to involve the intimacy right now. Keep it hot, keep it fresh, and separate yourself and watch how when you come back together, it's gonna be even more spicy.
Good. Next question. That's a good answer. I really like what girlfriend is saying right now, because in a relationship, you want to keep it live. You want to keep it all the way live. And you know, and that's good. But I would also say, don't pattern yourself after something you may have saw on television, thinking that what you saw on television is a reality. Because just because you saw it on TV, don't mean it is real. You know what I'm saying? If your man can only afford, you know, what he can afford, then don't put him under that stress and strain where he got to go out and do something to try to make things. Look, check this out. You want to marry this guy, and you know he's not as well off as you want him to be right now. So you go out and you say, well, hey, I want a $5,000 ring. Come on, look, why don't you do this? Let him buy you a ring and put a ring on it, and then take the other $4,999 and put it in a bank account, and then y'all live off of that, and then your life will go a whole lot better, instead of having an event where you're gonna feed all these people that may not even bring you a gift. Oh my goodness. They might even bring you a gift, and I'm sorry, but they may not, you know, and you sitting there and you feed them and everything, and then next thing you know, you don't have anything else, and so that's not going to be the greatest thing or the greatest wisdom to do in a situation like that.
But let's bring it down a little bit. What about if the woman is the breadwinner? You got someone that's they're not married, and they're pulling on her,
Very good.
and they staying at home playing video games all day.
That's very good.
So what's that like?
Well, in a case like that too, brother man needs to get up and do something. I just point blank, he needs to do
What does
something.
that mean?
I mean, he needs to get up and.
He is doing something. He's going to the sofa
No.
to the refrigerator.
No. I mean, if he's got health and wealth and strength and all that kind of stuff, he can get up and get a job. And I'm not talking about a job. I'm talking about a job that can help supply things for the family, so that relationship can. You know, one thing I've noticed in our relationship, the relationship is always better when you got money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying a lot of money, anything like that. But if you go into the bank account and there ain't no money there, and they go into the bank account and ain't no money there, it just squeezes all the juice out of the honeymoon. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no more honey in the moon, and y'all looking at each other and all that type of stuff. So, you know, he needs to get up and do something.
Okay, so we're gonna break it back down. We're gonna take it back to our years of marriage, way back. So when he mentions, Derek, when you're talking about, having him get another job, that was one of the things that we did. Our first child, we
But
had.
I'm not another job, a job.
Huh?
A job.
Well, okay. No, I'm saying, okay, I understand. What I'm saying is, even with the income that you were making in the military as A1C, an airman first class in the Air Force, you weren't making a lot of money. And we were in that mobile home. We were, and that was a start for us. And so we were thankful. And let me take it way back. When we were dating, and right before we got married, he told me his Uncle Larry.
That's my cousin John's dad. Yeah.
Yes, his Uncle Larry had some furniture. And so I was excited about the furniture because I was excited to be marrying him. I was excited to be marrying him.
Yeah, I know you were.
And so when we got the furniture, God help. Okay, when we got the furniture, it was that, the Brady Bunch avocado green. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all may not remember. But go on YouTube and watch the Brady Bunch. And you'll see that avocado green, or that avocado, or that burnt orange. I ain't talking about the University of Texas, not the UT Longhorns. I'm not talking about that. It was a funky kind of orange that, but when we got that, and then we had the love. It was a love seat, and it had the table with 3 legs. It had 3 legs on it. And what I did, I didn't complain. I'm not
No,
complaining
you
now.
didn't. You didn't complain.
I didn't complain. I took that. I took a washcloth. Now I was 18 years old when we got married, and I took it. I had a damp washcloth, and I ain't so washcloth. It was a wash rag. It was a rag. I took it and I shined it up, and then that 3-leg table. Y'all, you got to be creative with what you're doing. You know, you don't. I didn't come in with what else I did. I came into marriage for $10,000, so I got
I done paid you back. I don't know how many times.
We have to say that.
And she still talking about them $10,000. I done paid you back.
It's not, ladies, it's $10,000, not a lot. But what I did, I'm still laughing. I want my money. I want my money. But what we did, that 3-leg table, I would angle it and put it towards the corner. So it was standing like it had 4 legs if somebody came in and visited. And so we were able to make it through that. So when Derek, when you're talking about that, it makes me feel really good to know that you brought that up, and we can, you can stage, start making progress with the little that you have. Little becomes much, and so it becomes much. We got some questions. Let's see where we are.
I'm looking at one right now. It says, I think it's from Chrissy, I believe. It says, what are your takes on love languages? Are they important to consider in a relationship?
Okay. What are the?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Chrissy, give me an example as to what you talk about from a love language perspective. I know that a few years ago somebody wrote a book talking about love languages and so forth. But what does she mean?
Well, Chrissy is saying that take notes, fellows. It really doesn't take much, at least not for her. So it didn't take a lot from me, although I love to be wined and dined. I really do. I really do, but I was willing to wait because you were so creative with the things and you're still creative with the things you do, but like she's saying and she's taking note, you don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to do a whole lot, especially during a time like this, so. All right.
And one of the things that how can I say it?
So it's 5 love
the 5
languages?
love languages, as far as receiving gifts and things like that, you're not necessarily the type of person where you require me to give a lot of gifts or anything
well,
like that.
wait, let's go back to that too.
Yeah.
Can we go back to that?
Yeah, let's go back.
Because when we first started dating, I bought him jewelry. now his memories, he had a little bit of amnesia just a minute ago. See, we're bringing on some good stuff.
I remember that was with your dad's money. And
Well, my
you
dad
know what I'm
made
saying?
me
I
watch
had
it
it going on like that, you know what I'm saying?
My dad, Papa, if you watch him, I'll explain that when we off the air.
Yeah.
I will explain that when we off the air. But seriously, TV, 2 TV,
Hold on.
2 TV, jewelry.
Don't follow that example. I think we need to move on with
Yeah,
the
we
rest.
need to move on.
Look, I mean, because if it's anything, our love language, if we want to put it in that capacity, is I touch. I'm a physical toucher. I like to touch. I like to. You see us on Sunday mornings. Even right before I get up to speak, I kiss my wife in front of everybody. I may, touch her on the side or touch her on the butt sometimes, stuff like that, because I'm just a physical toucher. I grew up watching my mom and my dad kiss and hug all the time. My dad and my mom, they kiss, but they don't know how to kiss. They go, I'm like, how y'all know when to stop? They don't know how to stop. They just kiss, but it kept the relationship going. So if I could narrow that down, Chrissy, as far as one particular love language for us that has worked over the years.
And we do have the list of the physical touch, the words of affirmation.
Yeah, the words of affirmation. Yeah, but more importantly, for us though, what have stood the test of time is the physical touch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I always tell her she's pretty because she is. I always tell her she's fine because she is. And she don't have to tell me I'm a brute because I know I am. And but she tells me anyway. But the physical touch is so vitally important for us. And I think what happens in a relationship over a period of time, those are things that are developed. As girlfriend was talking about earlier, early in a relationship, it's kind of hard to talk about a love language when you really don't know that person. When I say really don't know that person, you may have known that person for a period of time, but it makes a difference when you put a ring on it and you start living with that person. And once you start living with that person, then you really start to discover who that person is. I often think about the TV show Baggage with Jerry Springer years ago.
That's
and he
good.
talks about how the first bag was small. You know, they don't unpack that last bag until you marry. You know, you don't get a chance to see him raw a lot of times, or you don't get a chance to see her raw and her what she really looks like or what he really looks like until you actually get married and you go home. And then at that point, now you got to live with that person. And so I would say, as far as the love language is concerned, I would say continue to develop that person, find out who they are, and then the love language will be defined by the two of you coming together.
That's good.
Very, very good. Very, very good. All right.
What's one thing an engaged couple should discuss before marriage?
Ooh.
What is one thing an engaged
One
couple-
thing? It's broad. It's broader than one thing. But let's just see. That's the expectations. The expectations. I mean, that could be broad too, but expectations from each other. From first of all, the two personalities have to come together. The mindset has to come together. The finances has to come together. I would have to say finding. When I say come together, we don't want no hidden things, because sometimes people we've counseled, and it's only after they've married that they reveal that they got some debt that's we don't want to go in that. But I would say, from what I would say would be to find out about each other,
I like that.
characteristics of each other.
Characteristics is good. For me, when we were dating, I had to make sure she had a relationship with God. And that was crazy because I wasn't interested in having a relationship with God when that happened. And that's a true story.
You just interested in having a relationship.
Don't listen to her at this point. But I wanted to, I wanted to have, I wanted her to have a relationship with God. To me, and first and foremost, I'm talking about a sincere relationship, because a lot of times people are front just so they can get what they want to get, and then when you take that person home, do you realize it's not the real person? But it was not until you told me, after you developed a relationship with God, that you didn't want to marry me anymore. And then once she said she didn't want to marry me anymore, then all of a sudden I got serious about God myself. And so when you think about going into something, marriage is a spiritual thing. And because it's a spiritual thing, if you don't enter into that relationship under the directions of God, you're entering into something, a covenant that God has put together.
But babe, you at that point now.
I'm at the point now.
We're at that point
Yeah.
now. But
Definitely.
speak to that person that they're not there yet. They just
No,
thinking
I'm telling
about-
you right now, that's what they should do. They should.
They're not there yet. How do they get there? Because all they worried about is the booty call or the.
Well, and that may be true. I just think that, if you got to make him go to church with you right now, you probably gonna have to make him the rest of the relationship. If you got to make him or her, let me just say it that way, do something to fit in within your group, because you know what
Or
you
the
feel, or
expectations.
the expectations. If you got to make them, there's a good possibility you're going to have to make them for a long, long time. Not to say that God can't change them, because he changed me, okay? But you don't necessarily want to go through those pitfalls and painful things, unless you got a word from God. If God told you to do it, then by all means, go for it.
Okay, we have a question. Do you all do premarital counseling for couples before you marry them? Emphatically, yes.
Yes.
We will not perform a ceremony unless we have had some consultation.
Yes.
When it's a rush job, it's most likely not going to be as successful as you would want it to be, in our satisfaction to know that you're compatible. Because there's some things that we're going to ask, and we we break it down. One of the things I was laughing about that we don't do, we've been counseling couples, and they'll say something like this, and I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at the calamity of it, but they'll say, "Bishop, Pastor, can I talk to you in the back?" This is why all four of us together. Oh no, we're not talking in the back. We gonna say it, lay it all out right here, and it's like, "Oh my, I got something I need to." No, we're gonna lay it all out right here, or put it on the other side. The lady may say, "Pastor K, can I? They want to disclose something, but no, we're not going to do it in secret because now I have the information, and I'm not the one that's going to you're marrying. We're just simply performing the ceremony. So to answer that question, no. Say, Pat, let's see.
But listen, it's true. There are people that we've counseled that we decided we're not going to perform the ceremony.
Yeah.
So I mean, just because we go through the counseling doesn't mean that we're actually going to perform the ceremony, because some things are very evident that if you are a gentleman or a woman, that when you're in quote unquote love, you don't see about that other person. The person may have a third eye right here, but you can't see it because you're in love. And so you just saying, oh, that's just the right person, and you have this preconceived notion about what the relationship is supposed to be like, that you don't see that one big old eye up there. And you're not going to see that one big old eye until problems come. And then once problems come, then all of a sudden it's like, man, I saw it all the time, but I didn't, so, that's something that you really want to...
Say it. Say it.
No,
say it.
I'm not,
Say it.
I'm going to say it, but I mean, you got to be careful in those areas. And so you want to approach it very carefully. Somebody else has a question, says, should you be friends first? Were we friends when we first got in a relationship?
I was to you, but you were just skirt chasing.
I wasn't skirt chasing. I was chasing your skirt.
Oh,
I mean, I wouldn't chase. I mean, I'd never been my behavior to go after just a lot of people. That was never me. But it was. I mean, you were somebody that was very. Yeah, you just draw me to you. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that in a relationship, friendship is good. I mean, you gotta like the person at least. you really should like the person. One of the things we talk about, and we tell couples all the time, is that people say, well, but I'm in love with them. Let me tell you something about love. Love is not enough to get married. And let me clarify what I'm saying. I know a lot of people right now who are still in love with a person who's moved on to another person and got married to that person, and they still stuck in love with that person. So love alone is not that. You gotta have relationship. You gotta have friendship. You gotta have, as Christian talked about, love languages if you want to develop all those things. But really, the true thing about it is, it was the word intimacy. Once you start looking into a person's heart, you really start to discover who that person is. And so it's critical that you do have some kind of a relationship. Friendship, I mean, you can call it that if you want to. That'd be great.
well, we are best friends.
Well, now we are. We are. And we're best friends even after we have issues, because we still have
Intense
issues.
fellowship.
Okay, intense fellowship. I like that.
All right, we got a question from Trina Bray. Hi, this is Trina. She's asking, Pastor K, how did you know Bishop was the one?
How could she not know? That's the, let me, how could she? No, okay, I must come back.
All right, so to answer that, my answer would, and it's always been this, was how he treated me. Unlike any of the other guys that I dated, and I did not date a whole lot of people. People liked me, but I didn't date them. So he treated me differently. It was so different. It was. He knew all the words. He took the time. He's as gentle then as he is now. He's just been gentle. Always a listener. I can talk a lot, and he's a listener. See, now he didn't do that when we were dating. You see that face? Look at this face. He did not do that face again, bro. See, he didn't do that.
Why did you say you could talk a lot? You know what I'm saying?
He didn't know that, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, because of how he treated me, the time he took, the patience, all of that. It was just like a package that he had, and he has. He continues to have that.
Let's say something about that though. One of the things we talk to couples, every couple should have a mentor, and the reason I knew how to treat her that way is because that's the way I saw my dad treat my mom. And so if you may not have had a positive example in your home where you saw that, but there are other people that you can connect with that can be instrumental into your growth and your development, that you can hook yourself to, that can be an example for you and your soulmate, if you will.
Okay, let's see.
So we have another question that's coming in. It says, I do not like my in-laws nor my husband's family.
Wow.
Okay, well, let's see. Hopefully, well, they're not watching.
They don't like the in-laws or the husband's family. Okay. Well, first off, you're not marrying them. You're marrying him. That's first and foremost.
They are married.
Or
They're married. They're married now.
Okay.
Okay.
And so the Bible's very specific where it says that a husband is to cleave to his wife, and and that really and truly the kids and everybody else, it's out of the realm of the relationship. Even though you got to live with them on an ongoing basis, and it's a good thing to get along with them, but you're not required according to the Word of God to be all up in their face and stuff like that. That's first and foremost. However, I would say that's something you still should try to work on. Because it puts a strain on the relationship.
It does.
If she wants to go see her dad, and I don't want her to go see her dad because I don't like him, it puts a strain on the relationship.
Well,
But I do love my father-in-law. I want to make that clear now.
well, nobody knew you were saying that, but no, I'm scared.
Yeah.
That I don't know. We don't know what the situation is or what that particular person that asked the question. But you're already in the marriage, so that means there's a commitment. As he's saying that between you and your husband. You need to find what the issue is, and you and your husband come together. You may not see eye to eye specifically on it always, but one of the things that we made a decision is that when decisions have to be made, we don't say, well, Kwani decided. Yeah, that's my nickname. Don't call me that unless you're family, so. Kwani decided, or Derek decided, when we're asked, maybe we've been asked to borrow money or to, whatever the decision is, to do anything, whatever decision is, we had to come, it took us several years to come that because it would cause division. So y'all need to find out what it is that's causing that. If one of the things that we don't do is have conversations, we have different conversations with our relatives, but when we come back together, this is what was brought to me. Someone wants to borrow money, or somebody on whichever side or whatever. But when we come back and we decided not to do that, we're gonna say we decided. And so one of the things that you may want to do is find out if there's any spirit of division that's causing that. Maybe they didn't like you coming into the marriage. Maybe it's a whole lot of questions that we don't have in front of us to help answer that. But certainly, if you two, your husband and God are a force to be reckoned with, if y'all are tight and there's no avenues for dissension or manipulation on any side, on any other family member side, then they're gonna know that they can't penetrate that. So what we've made a covenant with together, that we're not gonna let anybody break covenant with us. We're not gonna break covenant with us, and we're not gonna let nobody else break covenant with us. Children, grandchildren, relatives, none of that. It's us. And so once we're solid together, that's what happened.
And Brother Cox, Jonathan Cox, yes, we are planning a marriage retreat. It's coming as soon as we
Yes,
get through this. Man, we miss y'all so much.
Yes, we are.
And then there's a question that says, how did I know that you were the one? I knew that Pastor K was the one.
Well, after you finish it, you're gonna pay me.
No, I knew she was the one in elementary school. It turns out we were in 4-H camp, and I looked at her and I saw her. She was in the pool, and it's like all those kids out there screaming, and I saw her. Well, yeah, the 2 kids. I don't know what you had about that, but I saw her in the pool, and I was like, man, that girl is so pretty. Then the next time I saw her in middle school at a basketball game. I was playing basketball, she was playing basketball, and I'm like, man, that girl is just so pretty to me. Only to find out that we were in the same baby contest when we were children, and then finally, when we get to high school, she had a boyfriend, and I had games, so I wasn't worried about him or anything like that. Let me get my college together and everything. But when I saw her, I just knew that she was the one. I told her years ago, she loved hard. I was an athlete, and a lot of people wanted to hang around just because of being an athlete and so forth. But she was a fighter, and she was like, it didn't matter what I did.
go into the
Well,
example.
no, we don't go into a real example. We don't do that. People might be watching, right? But she loved me hard, and I don't know how to express that any other way. And so that let me knew. I found out that way that she was the one.
And then you talk about how I wrote you would get 2 or 3 letters when he was in basic
Oh
training.
yeah, she stuck with me, man. And I used to tell her, and I still tell her today, if you just hang in here with me right now, I'll get you to where you need to be. And what I mean by that is I used to tell her, just get on and ride. If you just pray for me. I remember one time I came home, I said, you pray for me today? She says, no. And she came home a couple days later, did you pray for me? She says, no. I said, doggone it. I might not have said doggone it back in the day.
Was it something else?
Freaking fracking or something like that. But I used to tell her, just get on, just ride. I'll carry us there. I just need to know that I got your support and you're going to push me. And that's exactly what she did. She kept pushing. And she still does today.
So, ladies, I hope that helps you, because stand by your man. So that was what I was doing. I had a letter writing ministry, I guess. At that point, I just knew I wanted to keep in touch with him, and I knew that once he went into the Air Force, it was September of 1982 when he went in the
September 17th?
September 17th, and 1 year to the date we were married. 1 year to the date we were married.
By a guy who could not even pronounce my name.
Wait,
Kept saying,
First Mount Olive Baptist Church in Albany, Georgia. The patriarch, the Reverend Jake Edwards
Jake Edwards, I'll never
Jr.
forget
Rest
that.
in
He
heaven,
could
rest
not-
in peace,
He
because he
could, but
still
yeah,
remembers
he
that.
could at
His
least
family.
pronounce my name right. He was calling me Frederick and everything else. My mother-in-law finally had to holler out and say, his name is Derek!
She did. Oh yes, she did. I was like, oh.
And you know my mother-in-law, you know she said it with force. And but yeah, that man, and to this day we're still here, you know. So hey, I think we got some quick questions, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna still do quick questions today? Talking to my producers behind the scene right now. Okay.
Yeah, somebody
okay.
put, yes, let's see.
How are we dating during this quarantine?
How we dating during the quarantine?
Oh man.
We talked about that when we
Well, no.
first.
Well, no, we talked about it before we came on air.
Oh.
What we're doing now is we walk. We get out. We walk down the street. We share with each other. We make it a point when we're riding in the car together. She'll reach over and she grab my hand because she know I'm a thinker. And so if my mind is out thinking about stuff that we got to do, I'm already gone somewhere. So she'll pull me back in. She'll grab my hand. She'll hold my hand, and she'll keep me going while we're going. Again, walking, eating together, talking to each other.
Yeah, we do a lot of that. We're cooking, at least I have to say this.
Woo,
My
it's
daughter,
cooking.
she cooks. She can just make my palate just even jump DeAndre. I have to be specific which daughter cooks.
I like Deborah can't cook.
Well, Deborah can cook.
Deborah made some good hot dogs today, man.
She did. But on a serious note, really we do. We have fun. We when we do eat out, we try and eat out now. Of course less, but we get curbside food, and then we'll go and we'll park and we'll sit. We'll turn the engine off, let the windows down, and we just kind of chill. Even beyond the meal, not okay. You finished, let's go. And then we have our retreat that we have here, our own home. We have our retreat where we go in and we have some intimate time ourselves. We're going to take some things inside the back room, and then we're just going to chill, and it's just going to be
You
us.
said we're gonna do what? Did she say take some time or tape sometime? We like you said tape. No, we're not saying tape. That's not. She said take Take. All right, here we go.
Yeah, so
Hey, Christian, back off me now. I see you, girl.
yes. But seriously, we get creative ways, and especially we might ask sometimes, is anybody home, and it's just us, and we could just use a creative tabletop. We can use some stuff we're gonna talk about later.
We can't talk about that till married
some weeks to go. But yeah, but to say that it does, like we saying, it doesn't take a whole lot. But those creative things while we're here, we love going to the river walk. We love vacationing, and so those things that do cost some things, now we're able to afford meals beyond the just buying some tea and
True.
chips and queso,
But,
or
but
chips
yeah,
and
but you know,
salsa.
one of the things too right now, I mean, cut you off, is that the gas prices are so low. It doesn't cost a lot to just get in the
We've been
car and
doing
just,
that,
yeah, we get out and we'll just go for a ride.
Let me
you
tell
know.
you, we're in San Antonio,
What can
Texas.
they do if they have children that can't stay home alone? What do they do? Do they allow the children to fall asleep, then ride around in the car?
Not leave them at home by themselves now. I know you're gonna do things that's safe. Don't leave them at home,
No,
and if they're underage, but put the children in the car and let them know that we're gonna have some quiet time. You're just gonna have to make it work. We have to make it work. I mean, this is different for all of us, being, I stay at home, but if you have some family members that are in your home, ask them to, if you just, you know, maybe you're gonna say you're gonna go for 30 minutes, for an hour, just you and your spouse. Or maybe it's just you need some time by yourself to make yourself available for your spouse. Sometimes, you know, I know my husband, Derek, he asked me a lot. He said, I'm gonna just take it like this, for the women. Okay, women, he said, why women need so much time by themselves? He said, why y'all need so much time? I said, when we take that time, whether it's getting our feet done, nails done, massage, going on vacation on the weekend, overnight excursions, like we at the Oasis, we love doing that. Come on, y'all, put those lights, because we want a cruise, we want another cruise.
no, I don't
Maybe not now, we may not want to do that right now.
That's
but,
another program for another day.
But the point is, you know, when you get along by yourself, I can't speak from a male perspective, but I can speak from a woman's perspective. Let me just say from me and the people that I'm surrounded by. We like to vacation. We work hard. We like to play hard. Not working outside, because my biggest effort that I want to put is to make you happy and to make my husband happy, and then. But when he allows me, or when I get away and do things like that, I come back stronger. Now my intention is not, okay, I'm pulling in town, I've been gone for a week, now I'm going out with the girls somewhere. No, mine.
No, I need time. I do. I need time, but I think that's just vitally important. One of the things I really want you to think about right now, when you talk about what you can do during this time that we're in right now, one of the things that you can do, can I add something to that? It is to start planning for the future. Give you a prime example. We're sitting right now, just a couple nights ago, and we're looking at tickets to Vegas, because we like to go to Vegas. And so like right now, if you buy your tickets for you and your spouse, $30, $36 from Austin to Vegas. So in other words, you can start planning things now for the future, and know that down the road, you know, you're gonna have some time to be able to do what you need to do. And it's not gonna cost you a lot. But if you wait till the last moment, try to be a spontaneous person, a lot of time it can cost you.
Somebody said, I said, put them in the trunk. I didn't say put them in the trunk. If I said put them in the trunk, I meant put them in the back seat. Put them in the back seat, y'all. Who was that? I can't even see. But I'm just going to know that you didn't mean that.
That's
And I
Patrice
didn't
Jones
mean that.
Christian right there said that, yeah.
Put them in the back seat. Put them in their car seats and their safety restraining mechanism.
Put him in the trunk.
I didn't say put them in the trunk.
You didn't say that.
But if I did, I know they're gonna go back and rewind and say, this is what you said. But what I'm saying is to get that alone time. We recognize that you need some alone time. You will not go stir crazy being at home with your children. Promise, I promise, I promise. I promise you. Just lift up your voice and just shout unto God and get through that. But it'll come a time when you'll be able to get out and do some things that you want to, but don't put them in the trunk. Don't give them no brandy. Don't give them no cough medicine to make them go to NyQuil. We don't do that. We want to allow somebody to
Yes, ma'am.
assist you with it. We got another question.
Okay, so Pastor Frederick,
You call me Pastor Frederick, okay.
what's your favorite carnival food?
My favorite carnival food? I think my favorite carnival food would be a foot-long chili dog with mustard on it, no ketchup, with onions. Oh my goodness, that'd be good.
For me,
Yes.
well, mine would be cotton candy. Oh, cotton candy.
Yeah.
Do you snore?
I do not.
The question was,
Y'all asking me, do I snore? No. So that should be the end of the.
yeah, well, she don't snore because she can't hear herself. But you know, I know I don't snore because every time I tried to hear myself, I couldn't hear myself snore. So, all right, next question.
What was your favorite childhood TV show?
Ooh.
Flintstones and Good Times.
My favorite childhood TV show probably was Sanford and Son. And from just a child's perspective, probably what's this show that with Fat Albert? I think that was probably one. Yeah.
Say a word in Spanish.
And not uno.
One word.
One word in Spanish. Say one word in Spanish. Poquito. Oh, she said poquito. That sounds sexy when you say it. Poquito. Poquito means little, man. Amor, which means love. Yes.
How long does it take you to get ready?
Ooh.
Pastor K?
The question was how long? Is that question addressed to me?
Both of you.
How long does it take for us to get ready?
In my time, 45 minutes. But in my mind, it takes me 15 minutes.
It takes me if I'm getting ready for church, and if I know I need to be there.
Don't get the technical
Okay,
term.
so it take me about a good 30 minutes. That's from shower to put clothes on, out the door, in the car.
You sound like a car salesman. Out the door. Get you out the door. We get you in the car, sign the contract, and out the door.
Next question.
On a scale from 1 to 10, who's the better driver?
Oh, me,
Right.
by all means.
He's a 1 being the worst.
Oh,
Well, I'm gonna
no.
give him a 2, and I'm a 10.
No.
And that means perfect.
Who has the most
Perfection.
speeding tickets?
Tickets, period.
I've never had a speeding ticket in my life. I've been stopped. I never had a speeding ticket. But
Right.
I've never had a speeding ticket. Hey, well, think about this though. If my driving is so bad, to the audience, if my driving is so bad, if we're leaving going out of town, she's over there with her blanket and she sleep before I can even get out the driveway. Whereas when she driving, oh no, I can't
Oh,
sleep.
I got an
I'm
answer
like,
for that.
Now I lay me down and sleep pretty low. So
I got an answer for that. You know what? Y'all, everybody ever seen the show What America Says? It would be my eyes are closed because
don't you go there.
he is driving. And I don't want to see him riding on the median.
Oh my goodness. No, but I mean, you know, for real, I'm the best driver. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we took a survey,
I got proof.
it would be that I'm the best driver because I'm just that good. You know.
I like that. Someone says I don't like much noise. Well, I know I hope you've enjoyed the time that we've had so far.
Yes.
Keep those likes, those hearts coming. We want to know that. And come on, text really before we close out where you are viewing us from, what city you're viewing us from. Just tell us hello and wave at us. Tell me what city you're. Come on. We have a lot of people watching. Good.
Well,
Hello, my family. Hi, our nephew Harry King. Love you. All right, go ahead and tell us what city you're viewing from. We want to definitely tune in for next week. We're going to be right back here next week with some new material, some new things that God has given us, and it's going to get hotter, going to get better, more wisdom, more practical wisdom, and we are transparent. One thing we've learned that as transparent as we want to be, if you got a question you ask us, we don't want to answer, we're not going to answer. So we are transparent, but we just want to let you know that disclaimer, so that we can benefit those that are watching.
all right. So next week we'll be back. So can I have an outro music? And we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.